Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will make this Santa Claus Christmas ornament. Santa's made with a wood face, a yarn beard, a felt hat, baker's twine, and a jingle bell on the tip of his hat. He's fun and easy, so let's get started. We are returning to this Woodpile Fun package of teardrops, ovals, and circles. Today we'll use the 2.5-inch circle to make the Santa's face. There is a right side and a wrong side. To make the face, we're going to use the Woodburning tool. This is heated up and it has the round tip. I'm just going to touch the tool to the face, to the circle, to make the eyes. They're kind of in the middle of the circle. Try to get the eyes the same size. If you've never used a wood burning tool, it's really fun. It just takes a little bit of practice and then it's easy. There we go, 4 faces. And then to form the cheeks, I have a Q-tip. This is why I have this paper towel here, because sometimes the blush kind of flakes off onto my surface and I don't like that. I'm going to just make some nice round blushy cheeks. This is Cosmetic blush. That's a color I used to wear. Seems so bright now. For the nose, I will use a 1/4-inch furniture button, which is just a little round wooden button. And since I have my blush out, I'm going to add some blush to this nose, but we're not going to glue it on yet. I'll set that aside. Now this step is optional, but I like it. It's white paint. I'm using Ceram Coat. Just need a tiny bit. And a wooden skewer to paint a little highlight on each cheek. We're imagining the light comes from the front, and so the highlights are going to be sort of at the top of the cheek, like this. And then, if you like, you can add a little eyebrow. That's optional. And the eyebrows hardly show. But they're cute. Now let's make the beard. For the beard, I have 2 4x6 index cards. Yes, okay, I'm confirming that's 4x6. And I'm going to wrap my yarn about 40 to 50 times, depending on the thickness of the yarn. I'm going to come in about 1 inch on each side and wrap all of this space in here. I'll show you. Okay, I will wrap this 40 or 50 times between those marks. This yarn is loopy and it's kind of thin, but you can use any yarn. This one is thicker, so you would use less wraps. This one is thin, so you would use more, but this one I counted and I did 50. So now I'm going to stitch with my machine this way, back and forth. Here's how it looks. Now I'll tear out the card. It rips pretty easily along that perforated line that was formed whenever I stitched through it with my machine. I am going to be careful, but it comes apart pretty easily. Okay. The center of the beard goes onto the front of the Santa. We're going to be gluing the center where the stitching is around like this. So the first thing I'll do is apply some glue. Now come down kind of low. I'm going to say 1/4 of an inch below the tops of the cheeks. Trust me, come down lower than you think. And then press the seam into the glue. If you come up too high, you won't be able to see the features. And then across the back, you can come up a little bit higher. So about across the center. About like this. Just pressing the seam into the glue. Now I'm going to put more glue right here and fold this down. There's the back. And the same thing in the front. So I'll spread some glue along that seam in front as well. And press those loops down. On the edges, I like that to be loose, so it kind of fluffs out on either side. Now we need a mustache. So from the same yarn, I'll hold a length of it here and wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Make an X. Go around the bundle and tie it off in the center. And then I'll trim the ends and I'll glue it on. I'm going to do that one more time for you. I'll try to go slow. Hold it like this, making figure 8s. 1 and 2 and 3 and take this top piece of yarn, the top end, and wrap all the way around, a complete revolution, is that the word? Around the center, and then tie it off nice and tight with the first end, and then trim it. I hope that's clear. So you have a little figure 8 mustache tied tightly in the center. I'll use this one, and it'll be glued right here where the mustache would be, just above the beard. Now you remember the nose that we made? And this is the one that has the blush on it. It's really small. We'll glue that right above the mustache, like that. So far, so good. Now the hat. The hat is made from red craft felt. Here's my pattern. Stay tuned to the end and I will describe this pattern for you. I'll just pin it, switch my machine to red thread, and stitch around, well, stitch up and down. 1/4 inch seam allowance, up and down. Back stitching, of course, at the beginning and end of the seam. And then I'll trim my seam allowance a little bit. And turn this to the right side. Let's just try it on and make sure it fits. Yep. Oh, by the way, here we go. If you want to, you can make a gnome just by pulling the hat all the way down over his eyes and pulling it all the way down to the beard. And voila, you have a gnome. Nothing to it. I did a gnome project for you from one of these other shapes, like a teardrop shape. I'll link to it. Okay, so I know this is going to fit, and I'm going to pull it down in the back all the way to the beard. And I'll secure the back with glue, just like that, nothing to it. But for the front, I'm going to fold under the brim of the hat first. So I'm going to fold this front half under, kind of like that. And I'll glue it first to secure it like this little fold, and then I'll put it on and glue it to the face. There's the glue. Just folding only the front edge, just to the center. Here's how it looks inside. And then I'll try it on one more time just to make sure it's right. I don't mind having a little bit of the bare face showing on the sides. I kind of like that. Make sure I can still see his eyebrows. That's good. I'm going to glue the back first. The back is easy. It just goes straight across to meet the beard. So I'm actually going to put the glue on the wood in the back. And then I'll just press that into the glue. And then in the front, the same thing, but a little bit higher. So I can see those cute eyebrows. There's my glue. And press it into that. That looks awesome. Before we fold the hat over, I want to apply some trim. I'm using this trim. It's kind of like a RickRack, but it's Christmas colors. It's from Walmart. It was $1, and I like it. I'm going to just glue this trim around the edge with the green on the bottom, all the way around. I'll start right here because I know that the hat's going to fold over right there. Now I'll fold over the point of the hat, which, by the way, you don't have to. You can finish your Santa, just put your hanging loop way up there at the top if you like. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm rolling this side seam a little bit so that when I fold it over, it won't show. Here's the difference. So if I had it like this and I fold it over, see how that shows? But I'm rolling it this way so that when I fold it, it's kind of disguised. And there's a little bit more interest to the hat that way. I'll put a generous amount of glue right here. And I'm going to fold that down and hold it for a second until it dries. Now for the hanging loop, I'll use baker's twine. Just stitch it through. And then to finish, I'll use a little jingle bell. You could use a pom-pom or a bead or anything you like. I'll sew the jingle bell onto the point of the hat. Now to finish this, I'll tie a little bow. Just a little baby bow, that's cute. And then I'll tie the streamer into an overhand knot and trim it. And this Santa ornament is done. Now I promised that I would describe the pattern for you. Here it is. 3 inches across at the bottom, 5 inches tall, and then I just folded and cut to a point. This includes the seam allowance, which is 3 at the bottom, 5 tall, folded in half, cut it to a cone shape, and there you go, nothing to it. I'd like to show you some other examples. They're the same exact project, but I just use different yarn. So this yarn is thin and fuzzy. This one is just thin, has a little bit more texture. And this is just regular old acrylic yarn, a little bit thicker. But they're all super cute. They're fast, they're easy. And you could have a lot of fun just varying the yarn for the beards and different trims and various decorations, different expressions on his face. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.